everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today we are going to be playing around with all of the items that came in the April 2021 SketchBox Premium Box. As I said in the unboxing video, the colors that came in this box reminded me a lot of autumn, so I decided to paint some autumn trees. I did a super basic outline of where the main tree trunks and branches would be, and then I literally just started going in with that Marabou watercolor ink. I started stippling using the lightest color, which to me is the Sunshine Yellow. To get the green we have on the right hand side, I mixed the Daniel Smith watercolor stick and the Sunshine Yellow. While it's still wet, I started stippling in the gold, which is that medium yellow color we got, and the red on top. The goal of this project for me was just to play around. Usually when I paint trees, especially with watercolor or ink, I try to do a very impressionistic version of it, which isn't exactly aiming for realism. I'm not painting every individual leaf, as you can see, I'm just making little dots. For the trunk, at this point, I just did a very, very light wash of that Daniel Smith watercolor stick and mixed it in with a little bit of the red. I didn't really use the Ecoline watercolor marker a lot, partially because the color was very similar to the two Marabou ones that we got, and it just wasn't really necessary for the kind of project I'm doing here. I did bring it in to brighten up some areas of the leaves, but it was used very minimally here. I did end up pulling in another watercolor brush that did not come in this box, just to get some of the finer detailing for the branches here and to get some smaller leaves going on. I just brought in a Princeton Aqua Elite Brown in size 2. It's a nice little brush that you can do small little lines with. It's great. For the darkest portions of the leaves, I'm just pulling in that Sodalite Daniel Smith watercolor stick again. I actually really like this color because it's not quite black. It's almost a bluish gray. I also just enjoyed how dark you could get it just by taking the brush with a little bit of water, putting it on the stick directly, and then applying it to the paper. I was able to get some really lovely dark shadows with it. For the highlights on the tree trunk, I used the Stone Ground watercolor in Hudson Bay Blue, and that is that sparkly color, so it is reflective on the highlights of the trunks. It's really pretty. I really enjoyed this box. I feel like I could have done a project just using the Marabou inks and the Daniel Smith watercolor stick and pulling in a white gel pen or white Sharpie, which obviously I do later because I always do. But I think you can get some really beautiful effects with just those 4 items and obviously some brushes. At this point in the project, I'm going a little crazy, just adding as much water as I can, splattering the paint around, just getting some really fun, loose, beautiful color washes. There's a point where I literally just start dipping into the jars of the watercolor ink themselves. You should probably be careful if you ever do that. You could possibly spill it all over your painting. I personally like doing it just because I like the purity of the pigment. I love bright colors, in case you can't tell. Also, in between here, when it's really wet, I pull in a hairdryer to help it dry more quickly. At this point, I'm pulling in some more yellow on the areas that are dry just to have a couple more highlights going on. I really liked how the colors in this box worked together, especially with the Marabou ink selection. I think it's perfect. I think they blend together beautifully, and I think it'll work really well with other watercolors and inks that I already own. Friendly reminder, if you ever make a mistake like I did right there where it got too dark too quick while it's still wet, you can usually lift it right up using a paper towel. I did go very ham on testing the colors and playing around with those Marabou inks. I should have left a little bit more white space in between the different areas of leaf splatters we have going on. I do fix it a little bit by pulling in some white acrylic Sharpie, which is an acrylic paint marker, and some white gel pen later. At this point, I'm pulling in a lot more trunks and branches, as you can see. I love doing small little line work like this, and using the smaller brush that I pulled in that did not come in the box makes it so much easier. I used the Staedtler pigment liner very minimally in here as well. It's very similar to how I use the Ecoline marker. I honestly don't feel like you need a marker at all for at least a painting like what I'm doing with the supplies that was given. But I do use the Staedtler liner for a couple of smaller branches and to reinforce some lines on the tree trunks. Also later, off video, I realized that my main tree trunk, which is that larger one in the middle, that I didn't quite finish it up, so I pulled in that marker to just add a little bit of information at the top so it doesn't just disappear into nothing. I like how ambiguous this looks too, because it could either just be autumn leaves or it could be a forest fire. I guess it's up to the viewer to decide. Let me know in the comment section down below what you see. At this point, I start pulling in the white Sharpie to help create a little bit more separation between all of the colors I laid down. That is something that I like doing with watercolor and ink drawings and paintings, and just drawings and paintings in general. I feel like it's really easy if you have acrylic paint and a white acrylic marker or a white gel pen to help fix some mistakes and just to create a little bit more definition. It's awesome. Overall, for this month's box, I enjoyed every individual item that came in it. I do think that I could have done this project without a couple of the items, but I do feel like they will get used in other projects later. For instance, that metallic blue, I'm going to use that and stuff. I know I am because it's shiny, it's pretty, I like it. But with that, this project, and therefore this video, are pretty much done. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, concerns, or you've used any of the items that came in the SketchBox premium box for April, let me know all about it in that comment section down below. If you would like to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I do art box unboxings, and we do some paintings and drawings here on this channel. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble. I greatly appreciate it. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you will definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!